What's up, Sooner Nation? Selection Sunday, brackets have been announced, and for the third straight year, OU is left out of the tournament. As CBS just reported, OU was the first team out. And for a team that was not even really, according to a lot of people on the bubble and in the Big 12 tournament, the Sooners miss out. We know there was a lot of chaos, but some of the decisions that the committee made, very, very questionable, Jay. But again, I guess you got to say 3 years OU's not one of the top 68 teams in the country. It's embarrassing.
It's very disappointing, and man, you feel for guys like Rivaldo Suarez who wanted to play in the NCAA tournament so bad, as well as some of the other guys on that team. It's gut wrenching, man. And to go where most pundits had OU as an 8 or a 9 seed heading into the Big 12 tournament, to fall all the way out when you're playing without 3 of your players, I think is ridiculous. I think it's a crime. I think it's a team like, you look at teams. I mean, the NCAA tournament committee, 6 of the 12 committee members are mid-majors people, okay? And the fact that teams like Dayton, Florida Atlantic, 7-8 seed comfortably in, didn't win their conference tournament. I don't know. I mean, the Big 12, toughest league, but maybe it's not the toughest league because they had 8 teams get in, as well as SEC had 8 teams, and Mountain West had 6. So I guess they're not too far behind the Big 12.
Yeah, again, I think some of the things that stood out, Michigan 8, Michigan State at 9, that was, I thought, highly questionable. Obviously, I think Tom Izzo is going to get in no matter what, but that was shocking. But like you said, Florida Atlantic, who clearly everyone said they were on the bubble, they were in there at an 8 seed, almost like the conference tournament didn't matter. I know you said that yesterday, Jay, that those don't matter. I don't think they matter for seedings, but I don't know, Jay. Suarez, it really hurts. I mean, I know for one, he was amped up to play in the NCAA tournament, not going to get a shot. That'll be interesting now what OU does. If they accept an NIT bid, if Moser decides to go elsewhere, I don't know. I don't know what to think. I'm just flat out disappointed this team could not get into the tournament for 3 straight years under Porter Moser.
Yeah, and how about Rivaldo Suarez? His former team puts him out of the tournament with the win last night over Oregon. If Oregon loses that game, OU's in. So, and very disappointing, like you said. And it's very disappointing, too, because you get 20 wins and you're 8-10 in conference, the toughest conference in the league. To me, you get in 20 wins, 8-10 in conference. I don't care what happened on the bubble, what happened with all these upsets. I mean, that's fine if there's so many teams to knock you out. But then you got Michigan State as a 9 seed. They had an early exit, and they didn't make the finals of their tournament or anything. So I don't know. There's always questions about who the committee puts in. The fact of the matter is you can't put yourself in the situation to be on that line, and OU was, and it's very disappointing. This is 2 out of 3 years that I thought OU should have got in and didn't. So, but they didn't. They put themselves in that situation with, you take away the Texas Tech game at home, make your free throws, you win that game. Houston buzzer beater. I mean, there's games that they wish they would have had back, I'm sure. Losing to Texas at home. I mean, obviously those games hurt you, but it's very disappointing as a Sooner fan not being able to play in the NCAA tournament again. And we'll see where they go from here. Transfer portal is open. How many guys are going to enter the portal?
Maybe tonight.
I don't know. It could be a big dose of them. I don't know. Maybe not. Yeah, it's frustrating, man.
I think guys will enter as early as tonight, Jay, from the University of Oklahoma. Now, it does depend. If they're going to accept an NIT bid, I doubt guys are going to leave early. But, again, to not be one of those that's in this field when this is the most disappointing year, because like you did say, 20 wins and 8-10 usually is the magic number.
Mississippi State was 8-10 in their conference.
I'm curious what Porter Moser is going to say, because I haven't heard him fighting very much right now lately about it. So we'll see if he comes out with fighting words after question why they're not in this tournament.
Well, I think the big thing is when you compare him, now another team that I think I thought was on the bubble, and they didn't even show them as a first four out. St. John's and Rick Pitino, they weren't even mentioned, so I don't even know where they were. But you have a team like Virginia. Virginia sorry, ACC getting 5 teams in. Virginia, I thought Virginia should have been left out personally.
Well, I figured they would get in, Jay. They were 3 seed in their conference tournament, so they finished third in the conference.
Well, then Mississippi State was 8-10 in their conference. So
yeah, Mississippi State's a shock one. That's a shocker.
Well, 8 seed,
absolute shocker. So the Big 12 ends up with 8 when we really thought they would get 9.
That's right. And I mean, overall, looking at the bracket, I mean, Houston gets the number 2 overall seed.
They didn't do the Big 12 any favors, really, because even Iowa State wasn't even the top number 2 seed, Jay.
Yeah, and I thought Iowa State really, you could argue with them being the 4th number 1 over North Carolina. Pretty much identical records on quad 1 wins and everything. They beat Houston twice, didn't get it. So won their conference tournament by a large margin, where North Carolina lost. So I don't know. You know, it's a committee thing, and you just cannot put yourself in that situation to be on close to that line. And OU did that. It's just a shame, really, that they weren't full strength in the Big 12 tournament. Maybe they get that win over TCU, and then maybe TCU's left out at this point. I don't know, but it looks like maybe the OU TCU was a play-in game, is what it looks like on the committees.
If that's the case, Jay, then tournaments do matter. If that was a play-in game for this team, then obviously that was a big-time game to OU. Absolutely laid an egg, and they laid several eggs this year. I guess there's no one to blame but themselves, but highly, highly, highly disappointed that the Sooners aren't dancing this year. There's got to be some changes made. There's got to be some looks in the mirror. Look at the reflection. Look at yourself. See what's got to change for this team to get in March Madness, because this isn't a big ask here.
Yeah, 68 teams get in, and they're moving conferences now. So you would think you can't use the conference is brutal. It is still a good conference, but I don't think it's to the level the Big 12 is. Can't really use that as a – and you know what might have hurt OU the most? Their non-conference schedule, because Arkansas turned out to be not very good. Providence didn't make the tournament. They're not as good as they thought they were. So maybe those teams end up hurting OU as well. Who knows? OU was still ranked pretty high in all the stats, the ones that matter. So very disappointing.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll touch more on it on the live tonight. Thanks for watching the videos. The Sooners are not dancing. For the 3rd straight year under Porter Moser, the Sooners cannot find their way into the field of 68, and we'll see what happens next if they accept an NIT bid. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Like, comment on the video. Till next time, Boomer.
Sooner.